franchise history have returned to the postseason for a fifth straight Red October. The next step is finalizing a fifth straight National League East title. The anticipation will build at Citizens Bank Park. The energy will be heard at Citizens Bank Park. And your Phillies will soon celebrate at Citizens Bank Park. Doubleheader baseball is where it restarts today and tonight on Comcast Sportsnet. It's the final homestand of the 2011 regular season. It gets underway today with a day-night doubleheader against the Florida Marlins. Game 1 is coming up in just a few moments. And the reason the Marlins are back in town, just to remind you, Hurricane Irene. You remember back on the 28th, 29th of August? That's right, it was swirling up the coast. It was a Category 1. It was a Category 2. Well, it turned out to be back-to-back rainouts for the Phillies and Roy Halladay. And the Phillies, well, they headed back into the clubhouse knowing there wouldn't be baseball for the rest of that weekend. And now the Phillies have the day-night doubleheader today against the Marlins. And then they take on the Cardinals for 4. And then the Nationals come in, included in that, another day-night doubleheader. It turns out to be a 10-game homestand. Hi, everybody. I'm Tom McCarthy, along with Gary Matthews. We'll chat with Wheels in just a little bit. All right, 33 games in 31 days. We talked about it often just about 10 days ago. Well, since that time, Sarge, the Phillies, well, they've been rolling.
Yeah, they sure have. Record of 12-5 in that particular stretch, and a lot of confidence that they're showing, and especially there on the mound. But all of a sudden now they're starting to score some runs there. Take a look what they've done against the opponents, and that ERA, I tell you what, you just can't talk enough about it. 16 more games to go in that particular stretch there. And again, the Fighting Phils there, they seem to be right on their game, not really looking forward so much to winning the games as they are to postseason. I think they're going to do a great job.
Well, the magic number is down to 4 to clinch the National League East titles. Yesterday, the Phillies took care of getting into the postseason. Now they really want to put a stamp on the postseason. This afternoon in Game 1 of the day-night doubleheader, it'll be Kyle Kendrick. He's making his first appearance in 3 weeks. He'll be opposed by right-hander Anibal Sanchez, who's making his 30th start of the year. He's coming off an 11 strikeout performance his last time out. What will the Phillies offense do this afternoon? Well, we know here at home they usually rock and roll offensively. We'll see what the lineups and the first pitch have in store when we return. back on the 28th and 29th of August. It's a day-night doubleheader here at Citizens Bank Park. What was supposed to be one of the Phillies' last off days of the 2011 regular season. They'll play some baseball, and it's a part of a stretch of 33 games in 31 days, and the Phillies have fared quite nicely during that stretch. Let's take a look at the Marlins starting lineup. It's brought to you by Xfinity, only from Comcast. Leading it off in right field, Emilio Bonifacio. Omar Infante bats second. Greg Dobbs hits third, followed by Gabby Sanchez, the first baseman. Logan Morrison's in left field. He'll bat fifth. John Buck bats sixth. At the bottom third, Brian Peterson, Donnie Murphy, and Anibal Sanchez. And they'll face Phillies right-hander Kyle Kendrick, who hasn't pitched in 3 weeks, but has had a very eventful 3 weeks. Wheels 7-6 with a 3.29 earned run average.
Yeah, and they really don't know what to expect from Kyle today. The good news is, he's kind of a fine line sinker ball, slider, changeup type pitcher. Sinker ballers normally want to pitch a lot because it keeps the ball down a little bit better. He's done a good job for them this year whenever they've asked him to pitch. He had last time out, it was so long ago, the one Tom mentioned, he had kind of a weird game with the Mets. He and Pelfrey were all over the place that day, and the game would seem to go forever. So hopefully his command will be a little bit better today. There's the Southwest Airlines scouting report. He's pitched a lot against Florida in his career, and he has 6 wins against these guys. And it's time now for Nissan Keys 2 this afternoon's game. Wind blowing out to right field right now as the wind's getting a little bit cooler here. Well, Sanchez is coming off a one-hitter, their guy today. He can always be tough. And Kyle Kendrick, rusty. Well, here's the first pitch. Let's see what happens.
Well, it's a fastball inside, so we're underway. It's 1 ball and no strikes. Now, Kyle's been with the team during most of this 21-day stretch, but he did leave for a few days as he and his wife Stephanie welcome the birth of their first child, daughter Sophia. Kyle said everybody's doing great. It's 1 ball and 1 strike to Bonifacio, a .291 hitter with 3 home runs, 32 runs batted in. Bonifacio's a switch hitter, hitting left-handed this afternoon in game 1.
It's supposed to get a lot cooler as the day goes along. You can feel it already. And the wind blowing out of the northwest really strong right now, so the left-handed hitters are going to get a little help to right and right center.
Fly ball left field. And Raul Ibanez glides under it. There you see the flags and the conditions this afternoon. 74 degrees. By game time tonight, the temperature is probably going to be in the high 50s. It may even get a little cooler than that. But after being in Houston for the last several days, this is kind of refreshing.
Well, if anybody forgot their jacket today, they're going to wish that they were able to find one real fast. They'll be headed for the Majestic store because it's really getting chilly.
Omar Infante is the batter. Infante takes a strike. Infante overall hitting .279 with 5 home runs and 43 runs batted in. He's hit in 30 of his last 36 ball games.
This guy's a really good, solid player. And no team in baseball wouldn't like to have Omar Infante on their club. Play a lot of positions, swing the bat. Evidently he's a good clubhouse guy, just solid.
Well, there's been a lot of talk the last few days about the Marlins extending the contract of Omar Infante. He originally signed a 2-year deal with the Braves, and this is the 2nd year of that 2-year deal. And you see what he's done since the All-Star break.
Well, he will have no problem getting a job.
And a call, strike 3. Well, that's a cutter, and it's the first strikeout for Kendrick.
Yeah, and he's come out and challenged these first 2 hitters too. It's really good for Kyle. As Tom said, that looked like a cutter. It was just a little bite there at the end, and it froze Infante as he thought it was inside. It was out of his hand, but by the time it got to the zone, it was a strike.
2 outs. Greg Dobbs is the hitter. Dobbs hitting .285 this year with 8 home runs and 49 runs batted in. He's thrived against the Phillies. And on this road trip, he's 6 for 24 for the Marlins, and he's pretty much playing every day over at third base.
And they had Wes Helms over there for a while this year. Other guys have tried to play, and Jack McKeon right now, they're just playing out the string, and Dobbs swinging the bat and playing adequate defense at third base, so they're going to use him there.
Outside 2-0. 2-1 the count to Dobbs. Well, the Marlins are opening up their brand new facility next year. The schedule has officially come out in Major League Baseball, and they will be the first game played in 2012. Jack McKeon, well, they're still not sure whether he's going to come back and manage. He has left the door open just a crack, but it probably won't happen. And you see he needs one more win to become the Marlins' all-time winningest manager. But we talked about Infante. They'd like to get him back. They'd like to have Hanley Ramirez healthy. Ramirez is scheduled to have surgery today on his shoulder. Dr. James Andrews is doing that surgery in Alabama. And the Marlins have also said that they'd like to have Greg Dobbs back in somewhat of a similar role, playing third base. And he lines it to left field. Ibanez is there, and it's an easy inning for Kyle Kendrick. He retired the Marlins in order in the top of the first. We go to the bottom of the first. It's the Marlins nothing, and the Phillies coming up. That second meanest player will be in the lineup for game 2 of this day-night doubleheader, but he's not in the lineup this afternoon. It's brought to you by Xfinity, only from Comcast. Leading it off at center field, Shane Victorino. Placido Polanco bats second. Hunter Pence hits third, followed by Ryan Howard and Raul Ibanez. Pete Orr is in the 6th hole. Brian Schneider bats 7th. Michael Martinez hits 8th, and batting 9th and pitching, of course, is Kendrick. And they'll face veteran right-hander Anibal Sanchez, the 27-year-old from Venezuela. 8-7 with a 3.64 ERA.
Coming off a one-hitter. This guy has pitched 3 one-hitters and a no-hitter in his major league career. You see his numbers there. So what that means, it means at any time he can pitch a heck of a game against you. There are other games where he's all over the place and he's gone early. So the Marlins will tell you they never know what they're going to get out of Anibal Sanchez. He's got great stuff, though, as you see on the Southwest Airlines scouting report.
Facing Shane Victorino, who's batting leadoff in this first game. Jimmy Rollins will play game 2, according to Charlie Manuel. Victorino will probably play game 2 and be in the 2 hole.
Yeah, they'll do what you said there, Tom. Ruiz will catch the second game. Lee, of course, is the pitcher in the second game.
Breaking ball inside and low, 2-1.
Looks like maybe Pence and Howard will also play both games. We'll see. But they want to win. They want to win this division, and then Charlie Manuel will start talking more and more about guys he can rest and how they want to set up a rotation and all those kind of things. But they have to get a combination of 4 done before they can do that.
The Braves do not play today. They'll enjoy an off day. They'll be back in action this weekend. Here's the 3-1 to Victorino. Into the air softly to left. Logan Morrison comes in. So 1 away here in the bottom of the first. Sanchez in his last outing pitched a complete game. Allowed the 1 hit, as Wheel said. He struck out 11 through 119 pitches, so it was a very comfortable night for him. He's faced the Phillies 4 other times this year. He doesn't have a win. He doesn't have a loss.
He has a lot of out pitches. One thing in the Phillies' favor is things have not worked out real well for him in this ballpark throughout his career. He's 1-5 here with a 7.04 earned run average, and the Marlins are 1-8 in his 9 starts in this ballpark.
Started a game earlier this year against Roy Halladay in this ballpark.
Marlins have played pretty well against the Phillies lately. Phillies have dominated them, and now they've won 4 out of 5.
1 ball, 1 strike to count to Polanco. Back toward the middle, base hit.
Took a little look at Polanco as he went up the line. He took that breaking ball and hit it right back through the middle and almost got him.
Oh, the Lucky McDonald's Phillies home run jackpot contestant is Sam Soltoff of Elkins Park, Pennsylvania. If the Phillies hit a home run in today's ball game, then Sam will win $200.
Polanco could be a guy who gets off the second game. They think Valdez could be ready to go by game 2, so maybe they'll play him. We're getting a little spritz here right now, which they said could happen throughout the afternoon, but don't expect any heavy rain.
Hunter Pence, the hitter. And Pence swings at the first pitch, and it looked like he fouled it right off the hand, the throwing hand of John Buck. Pence has hit in 7 straight. It's a light rain, so the ponchos don't need to go on. They just need to go over.
No, you don't want to put those ponchos on down there now because it's not raining hard enough. Plus, it's way too windy to try those things. Well, there's somebody going to try one. It usually doesn't work out well.
There you go.
That's a good job. That's a veteran. Must be out of the wind.
0-2 the count to Pence. Pence had a whale of a road trip. Played every day, played every inning. 11 for 28, 2 home runs, 5 runs batted in. He hit .393 on the road trip.
Yeah, he'll be one of those guys. They could, they'll be able to get him out of a game once in a while when they get this over with.
1 ball, 2 strikes the count to Pence.
And let's face it, it's really early to be talking like this, but they put themselves in a great position.
Well, by winning the game yesterday, they've qualified for the postseason, and it's the earliest in franchise history that they've done that.
Right.
Now, for a good portion of baseball history, there wasn't a wild card, but Roy Halladay yesterday started that ball game, and it just seemed like he wasn't coming out.
No, he was going to win that. Well, he was going to do everything he could to not let them score. And if the other team doesn't score and you can get one, you win the game, and that's what happened. But he had that look yesterday. Not that he doesn't. He always has a look, but he had that look yesterday. Like we're going to get this over with today.
1-2 the count to Pence. Marlins commit to this ball game with a record of 67-81. Just think about where they were at one point in second place in the East. They've fallen so far, and another loss, it would be their ninth time.
And that's hard to believe they didn't call it.
I was just thinking the same thing.
I mean, all kinds of.
And now they've just called it.
Yeah, I mean, he flinched. He not only flinched.
I thought somebody called time, which is why he stopped.
I was trying to figure out why can they not call a balk, one of these umpires. And I don't know what made them finally do it.
Well, Juan Samuel said something to the third base umpire, Bill Miller.
I mean, that's a balk.
Yeah, and he knows it too. He's just trying to sell it.
That's like he's slip and fall on the ice and look around. Nobody saw me do that, did they? I mean, that was so obvious. It was so obvious that the umpires were startled by it. I think that he did a great acting job after he balked.
I honestly thought somebody called time.
Watch him balk right here.
Right there.
Oh.
He's trying to
and
stretch
now he
and
said,
sell
I
it.
was just stretching. I wasn't in contact with the rubber when I flinched like that. Now I'm just going to stretch a little. Now I'm going to get ready. Nobody saw that, did they?
Down the left field line, floating toward the corner. It's a fair ball. And the Phillies take a 1-0 lead. An RBI double for Hunter Pence. He's hit an 8 straight. And it's his 36th two-base hit of the year.
As Tom said, it floated out there, and it looked like he floated something slow up there that he hit, too. What he does here, you know, he can get on top of pitches, and that thing is, what, 2-3 feet fair down the left field line. And Polanco, who was eventually balked to second, can walk him.
Well, that was an 8-pitch at bat for Hunter Pence. So good start for the Phillies. Let's see if they can add on here in the bottom of the first. Ryan Howard, good numbers against Sanchez for his career. 9 for 28 with a couple of home runs. But Ryan's hit a little speed bump lately. He's 0 for his last 11.
Yeah, he did not have a good series in Houston.
National League leader in RBIs with 112. Won the count. Started to say before Sanchez balked that the Marlins, with one more loss this year, it'll be their 13th losing season, and I don't think anybody expected that at the start of the year.
No, and if it would be a losing season, you'd think there'd be a couple games under 500. Nothing like this. Well, the Phillies just buried this division, other than the Braves, which is amazing when you consider, you look at some of the teams in this division and they aren't this bad, but the Phillies have been that good. You know, you got teams hanging around 500 in the division, and you hang around 500 with the Phillies and you are still buried as far as the division race goes.
1-2 the count. Something soft from Sanchez.
He has a really good changeup, and he'll throw it a lot. That was one there. I think Hunter Pence may have hit a changeup too, because it looked like it didn't look like a breaking ball. It was slow and it's kind of floating up to the plate, and he hit it like he threw it. He's one of the few teams that plays him to pull in the outfield severely. Most teams play Ryan Howard with the center fielder towards left center, like out here. And look where they're playing him over in this area. It could be because Sanchez is going to throw so much slow stuff to him. But normally it's just the opposite. And as far as the infield goes, they have the shortstop behind second.
2-2 the count to Pence. And a strikeout of Howard, 2 outs. First strikeout for Sanchez. He's zeroing in on 200 for the season.
We had a lot of trouble with curveballs in that series in Houston, so that's what he got there. Another big old slow hook.
That'll bring Ibanez to the plate. Ibanez 7 runs batted in his last 13 games. Raul with 72 runs batted in, 18 home runs. Line drive toward right field. That's pretty deep. Bonifacio going back. It's off the scoreboard. A run will score, and Ibanez is going to pull into second with his 30th double of the year. The Phillies take a 2-0 lead. 10 straight years of 30 doubles or more for Raul Ibanez.
And you're not going to hit many doubles harder than that, baby. Line smash off the wall in right field. Look like a fastball it is. Fastball down. And look at where it hits, halfway up the wall there. And an easy run scoring double for Raul Ibanez. Hunter Pence will score on that. And they've already scored more runs than they scored yesterday. Or in the other 2 games with Houston when they scored 1.
Pete Orr chops the first pitch from Sanchez right at Infante. The Phillies get 2 here in the first. They get 2 RBI doubles. One by Ibanez, the other one, and this was the first one, by Hunter Pence. It brought home Placido Polanco. We go to the second with the Phillies on top 2-0. For the second tonight, the Governor's Cup Series continues, but now it's at Coca-Cola Park in Allentown, Pennsylvania. Seats are still available. The series is tied at 1 between the Lehigh Valley Iron Pigs and the Columbus Clippers. Again, you can go to the Iron Pigs website to purchase your tickets or just stop by the ballpark. It's Game 3 in a best-of-5 series, and as Ryan Sandberg said after last night's loss, in which the Iron Pigs were only 5 outs away from taking a 2-0 lead, he said it's down to a best-of-3 series.
We certainly wish them the best. They've had such a great year up there, and know so many guys on that ball club. And Ryan, of course, is such a good man. And Rod Nichols, Sal Rendy, just really good people, and people that run that ball club and all, from Craig Stein on down. So, go get them.
Here's the 0-2 to Gabby Sanchez. And that just missed. 1-2. Kyle Kendrick worked a 1-2-3 first. Now he has a 2-0 lead to work with here in the second. Sanchez is 4 for 17 on this road trip for the Marlins. As good as Infante's been since the All-Star break, that's really as much as Sanchez has struggled. He's not been the same player. He shows signs every once in a while.
He popped a home run against the Phillies down there in that last series, and that looked like Gabby Sanchez, and then he'd come up and have at bats where he looked like he didn't have a clue. This guy's a big part of their future too, moving into that new ballpark. Guy from Miami.
2-2 the count to Gabby Sanchez. Got him. A changeup, second strikeout for Kyle Kendrick.
He was really sharp early in this game. Hasn't had a pitch out of the stretch. A lot of times when Kyle gets in the stretches, when he slows things up, they don't work out for him. Out of the windup the whole game so far, that's an outstanding changeup there. That thing had some dive to it. That's the same changeup that Halladay throws. Kyle's the one who started experimenting with it first, and then Rich Doobie and Roy Halladay picked it up.
Yeah, Justin Lair, who was a Phillies farmhand, is the one who taught Kyle Kendrick that changeup and that grip. And he said that he was taught that grip, Lair, by Tim Hudson.
Yeah. Well, he splits his fingers too when he throws his changeup, and you know when you can have that pitch and he needs it. I mean, Halladay, they all can use it, but Kendrick needs it more than Roy does because he doesn't have the movement. And how many people have the movement that Halladay does? But when Kyle can throw that thing, it really helps him with left-handed hitters.
Yesterday, the bread and butter for Halladay was that curveball, but he threw some really good changeups too. Here comes the 2-0 pitch to Logan Morrison. Whacks it foul.
Morrison was having some knee problems. Next thing he needs to do is hit balls off his legs.
See the difference from 1 month to the next, even with that knee being drained earlier this month. Good pitch, that two-seamer that came back over the inside part of the plate. 2-2 the count. And a called strike 3. 3 strikeouts for Kendrick. 2 looking, 1 swinging. 2 outs here in the second.
Threw a cutter that time backdoor, and Morrison did not think it got there. But James Hoy did, and that's all that matters. Nice job by Brian Snyder. Just helping a little bit. There's a cutter right on the outside corner, according to the home plate umpire. 2 outs.
So 5 up, 5 down for Kendrick here in the first 2 innings. John Buck's the hitter, and a check swing foul ball. Buck with 16 home runs, 56 runs batted in. He's zeroing in on the Marlins record for home runs by a catcher. I think we said that last week or a couple weeks ago when we were in Florida. And his last home run was against Roy Oswalt on the 26th of August.
Remember that one? He just hit him with that. That was a little fly ball. He hit the right field, turned into a grand slam home run, and that was the only game that was played that weekend.
Follow the Phillies with the MLB.com @BAT11 app for your iPhone, iPad, Android, or BlackBerry. Live audio, pitch-by-pitch tracking, video highlights, and more. Text @BAT to 31826 or visit Phillies.com for details. You can also follow the other teams in Major League Baseball that are playing today. And even this weekend, it's a big series up in Boston between the Rays and the Red Sox. The Rangers are trying to stave off the Angels in the American League West. In the National League, the Braves, well, they're trying to hang on to the wild card. Their magic number to earn a spot in the postseason is at 9. Those 2 teams are just playing out the schedule. And I'll show you the Major League scoreboard. The Nationals lead the Mets 1-0.
And the 2 other teams in this division, the Phillies buried this year.
Mets officially had that mark next to their name in the standings, which says that they're officially eliminated after yesterday's ballgame.
Probably be a lot of Phillies fans in Atlanta this weekend when the Phillies play the Cardinals. They want to get the Phillies. They wanted the Phillies to knock off the Cardinals.
Fly ball, shallow right field. Here comes Pence. Out goes Orr, and Orr makes the running grab. Oh, he showed a lot of baseball on that catch, but he made a nice running attempt to put it away. No runs, no hits, 1 man left. On to the bottom of the second. game this season. Enter for a chance to win Eagles season tickets right now at csnphilly.com. Lincoln Financial Field's one of the better football venues to watch a game. And if you go to csnphilly.com, you can win tickets to every Eagles home game this year. Here's Brian Schneider to start the bottom of the second. Schneider hitting 167, a couple home runs, 9 runs batted in. And a fastball for a strike.
Well documented how well the Phillies have played with Brian Schneider as a catcher. He has done a tremendous job this year as their backup.
Up until Vance Worley's loss the other day in Milwaukee, Schneider and Worley had combined to be a great tandem. But Schneider had won 19, or the Phillies had won 19 straight Brian Schneider starts up until that game. Worley, meanwhile, well, the Phillies had won 14 straight starts that he made up until that loss to Milwaukee. Just works out that way where, you know, guys can communicate well, they feel comfortable with each other, and, you know, a manager will stay with it. There are those well documented numbers that Wheels is talking about. Second strikeout for Sanchez. First one looking. And that'll bring Michael Martinez to the plate. Martinez did not have a particularly good offensive road trip. So that stretch of hitless at bats. Well, he was 2 for 18 overall. The second half of the year, he has certainly gotten his fair share of attempts, whether it be at short, second, or at third. 2 outs here in the second. And that'll bring Kyle Kendrick to the plate. Powerade Ion 4. Focus, hustle, hydrate, and believe. One ball, one strike to count to Kendrick. Looked like he was taking a pitch or taking a strike. As it turns out this year, because of the injury to Josh Johnson, Sanchez has essentially been the best pitcher for the Marlins. Because Johnson's injury, Sanchez and Ricky Nolasco have had to carry a lot of the burden of this staff. And there's ball 4. Kendrick works out a walk. First walk issued by Sanchez. Chris Volsted's been part of this staff too. Once they lost Johnson, though, I mean, they lost an ace. They lost a number 1. And as good as Sanchez is and can be, and even as good as Nolasco at times can be, nobody's as good as Josh Johnson.
Josh Johnson was off to an unbelievable start this year, too. It seemed like every game he pitched, he was pitching deep into games, looked like he pitched a no-hitter. He wasn't just good, he was great. And then got hurt again. And he has been injury prone.
Well, yesterday in the Braves game, Ricky Nolasco was humming along at a 1-0 lead up until the 7th. Then he botched a safety squeeze. And all of a sudden, the game was tied at 1, and then gave up a 3-run home run to Alex Gonzalez. And after the game, Jack McKeon, well, he had some pretty pointed comments toward Ricky Nolasco. He said, I guess that's why you're 10-11 and not 11-10 or whatever. That's why you're not a 20-game winner. You've got to concentrate and make pitches. Sooner or later, you're in the big leagues. You have to be better than that.
Well, Jack says a lot of things that, you hear him say things, and there's either one of two things. He has absolute unbelievable security, or he's not coming back, and he doesn't care what he says.
Well, I think it could be both.
Yeah, it's a combination with him. And, it's a wonderful situation to be in, because you can just fire when you want to.
But even when he led them to the 2003 World Championship, he said what he wanted to.
Yeah, it's harder and harder, though. It gets harder every year to do those kind of things. Managers to say that what they really think. What they need to do, what they do best is do it behind closed doors. But not many of them say it publicly.
Dorito gets the green light, 3-0. That may be playable. Dobbs over near the dugout makes the catch. And Sanchez, after a visit from John Buck, is able to get through the second. He leaves one. We go to the third. It's 2-0 Phillies. Go to the fan section for all the information, and please submit your answer on the subject line. Wills, the question is, name the Phillies pitchers that both threw shutouts at a doubleheader on April 23rd, 1961. Now that one is going to cause you to think a little bit. The answer will be revealed in the seventh inning.
There certainly is no tie-in that they did it against the Marlins.
They did not.
Thank you.
Yep.
Got that part right.
Yes, you did.
1961, they threw shutouts?
Yeah.
They were awful.
Well, not that day.
That's a team that lost to 23 in a row, I think.
Well, the sun was shining brightly that afternoon or evening.
Oh, it was early. It was only April.
Wind was blowing and the sun was shining.
Which it's not right now.
Nope. Rain's picked up a little bit here in the top of the third. 2-0 Phillies. Donnie Murphy leads it off. 1 ball, 1 strike to count. Fans are going for some cover. Umbrellas are popping up. Ground ball over to third. That's a fair ball behind the back. Polanco, and he's done this better than most this year. 1 away.
Yeah, he's really good at that play. His arm is strong and it's accurate too. That's the thing about it. He'll make that throw chest high a lot of times for Ryan Howard. Nice play.
That'll bring Sanchez to the plate. He has 7 hits and 53 ABs this year. ball, 1 strike the count. This is Kyle Kendrick's 64th ball game here at Citizens Bank Park. Overall, he's 20-18 at Citizens Bank Park with an earned run average of 4.48. Nice play by Emily. He is 12 games over 500 for his major league career. And a floater out towards second. Oh, what a play by Pete! Little snow cone action. 2 outs here at the top of the 3rd.
Human dynamo out there today. Kidding around the other day, Charlie was that he'd been looking to bump into somebody sooner or later. He's an old hockey player, and you know, he plays with that kind of reckless abandon. That is your ultimate snow cone right there. Give me a little vanilla. Right at the top of his leap, and it stayed in the glove.
He really got off the ground well.
Oh, yeah, that's some good ups. And he didn't have anybody to bang into.
No sausages or anybody else.
Everybody was out of the way. He's a little bit like a torpedo out there, so they try to avoid him.
Here's Bonifacio. He flied to left his first time up, 0 for 1. Shows bunt, takes it for a strike. 14 bunt hits this year for Bonifacio. He's already eclipsed his career high in at-bats this year. Hits, runs. He went.
Sure did. Bill Miller agreed.
His mind was saying no, but his body just wasn't able to stop. Tom Hallion's the crew chief. Said he saw it coming. That's what he just mouthed.
Good. You want to see those kind coming.
And Schneider hangs on. 4 strikeouts for Kendrick. He hasn't allowed a hit through the first 3. We played 2.5. Pedor's defense has really helped out the Phils this afternoon. Our fares online only at southwest.com and by Mazda. Zoom zoom. Phillies up 2-0. We go to the bottom of the 3rd. Placido Polanco leads it off.
The fans trying to figure out that trivia question today.
Are you doing research?
That team, remember I told you, was awful.
Yeah.
They won 47 games that year. They lost 107. And they managed a tie also. That's a really bad team.
What year did they stop ties?
I don't know. but there was a tie that year. Well, I can tell you there was still a tie in '83. There was a tie in '89 for the Phillies. So far back as '89, you could look, they still had them.
I think there was a year, though, when it stopped.
Yeah, must have.
One out. Hunter Pence is the batter.
23 straight that team lost, I believe.
Pence doubled home the first run for the Phillies and then scored the second run on a double by Raul Ibanez. Line drive, one hop, snagged by Donnie Murphy. 2 outs. So 2 away. Oh, Wheels, earlier today, the city of Philadelphia unveiled the latest mural. And it will be the Phillies mural, which is coming in the summer of 2012. Now, there's the building, and there's the side that it will go on. It features Whitey and Ryan Howard and HK and the 2 World Series trophies. Schmitty's there as well. Tubbs, great shot after the Phillies won the '80 World Championship. It'll be completed at some point next summer. It will tower 8 stories high and face the Schuylkill River and the expressway. It'll be located on the 24th and Walnut Street building. And, of course, the city of Philadelphia. Since 1984, the Mural Arts Program has created over 3,500 murals and works of public art, earning the great city international recognition as the City of Murals.
I think it looks beautiful.
It does. It looks awesome. Fanatics right on the bottom of it. There's a picture of Lefty, Robin Roberts, J. Roll stealing a bag, Utley going after a ball at second.
That's my way to and from work, so get to see that a lot from the expressway.
You're going to keep us updated next year on how it looks?
I'll try. I'll try not to look at it too long, though. You don't want to do that on the Schuylkill. All of a sudden, you're going to see brake lights too close. Something you certainly are familiar with.
2-2 the couch. Well, what we can do, Wheels, is we can go along with you and bring a camera and we can take a shot of it.
I would rather that.
Breaking ball, whacked foul. It remains 2-2. Howard struck out his first time up. 0 for his last 12. Trying to get himself back on track. Towering fly ball to left center field. Logan Morrison and Brian Peterson both got to the area, and it was Peterson who made the catch. And the Phillies go down in order. We've completed our first 3. Wipe that brow, Emily. We go to the 4th. It's 2-0 Phils. Kyle Kendrick has done a very nice job so far. Phillies lead it 2-0 Kyle's not locked into any real pitch count, even though it's been 3 weeks since he last pitched. He'll face Omar Infante, Greg Dobbs, Gabby Sanchez here in the 4th. And there's strike one.
Hey, you like to be able to kind of judge him on those ground balls. Only one ground ball so far. And usually when he's on his game, you know he's getting a lot of ground balls, staying out of trouble. Those line drives has a tendency to get out of the ballpark or in the gaps.
Well, quickly it's 0-2. I agree with you on that, Sarge. The one thing that's been impressive is that whatever he's throwing, it's moving.
Wow, those 4 strikeouts that he has, he's got that ball moving in and out and keeping it out of the heart of the plate.
High chopper to third. Polanco takes care of Infante. Well, there's your ground ball, and it's only the second of the game for Kyle Kendrick. And, you know, it's interesting. Kyle at the beginning of the year really didn't know what kind of role he'd have. He thought it would be, all right, I'm going to be a long man, and I'll be ready if the Phillies need me as a starter. Well, as it turns out, he's done a lot of both.
Yeah, he has been, and he's the type of guy that can do both. More so fitted for that type of role, I think. You know, not a real hard thrower, concentrates on more on hitting his spots than anything else. And, again, he relishes that role, and that's why he's ended up being a little bit better than maybe most.
All right, he's 12 games over 500 for his career. We've seen him during his major league career be successful as a starting pitcher. Could what he's accomplished this year, let's say in another year, could Charlie Manuel then parlay that into him being a starter full-time again?
That's possible. I mean, definitely. But, you know, again, when he hasn't pitched for so long, he becomes really strong, and that's why, again, hasn't thrown a whole lot of pitches, so when he comes in and he's starting, he's able to be somewhat fresh.
All right, the other thing, too, is that he's been able to refine some pitches. And I'm not saying it only because he hasn't allowed a hit in 3 1/3 so far today. But he's refined that changeup. He's refined the cutter a little bit. It's almost like the olden days when guys were long relievers for a few years, and then they eventually found their way into a rotation.
Yeah, he had to come up with another pitch. The cutter that he's thrown, he's also throwing that changeup. And what that does, keeps the left-handers from really concentrating on that fastball and hitting that. And he's been doing a pretty good job with that.
All right, let's see if it continues as this day moves on. And there you go with his grip before he gets the ball twirled around and ready to fire. 2-2 the count to Dobbs.
Well, that comeback pitch that he throws on the inside to left-handed batters, that's the one you like for him to throw when you have 2 strikes on you, as opposed to the 1 strike. That pitch is that one that could be his strikeout pitch, the same way Vance Worley uses that pitch.
Grounded right side, diving stop by Orr to his feet, throws in time. That's 3 defensive plays by Orr in the first 4 innings this afternoon that have certainly helped out Kyle Kendrick.
Starting to get those ground balls. However, this one headed right for the hole. Orr getting up, has the mind and presence to throw it right on the money there. A little bit slippery too. Been raining just a little bit as he gets to his feet. That's a good play.
He got his body in good position to make that throw. Gabby Sanchez takes strike 1. Sanchez struck out his first time up. Two and one the count to Sanchez. Fly ball left field. Ibanez heads back and into the alley. fights the wind a little bit. A 1, 2, 3, 4th inning for Kendrick. So again, he got solid defense from Pete Orr for the second out here in the 4th. And now as we go to the bottom of the 4th, it'll be Ibanez, Orr, and Schneider due up for the Phils. Visit ChevyDealer.com. By Budweiser, great times are waiting. Grab some buds. And by W.B. Mason. Who bought W.B. Mason for amazingly low office product prices? Well, the grounds crews try to dry up any of the moisture that's out on the infield dirt right now, and they're going to get a little help because it looks like the sun's popping back out once again.
Yep.
This is the first of 2 here today. The Marlins, after today's ball game, will head to Washington. Well, whatever wet surface there is out there, it hasn't affected Pete Orr's defense at all at second base, Sarge.
Well, it's all in that first step. Once you end up seeing the ball, he has good speed. I mean, no doubt about that. As he get up to catch that ball, now watch a ground ball, goes right in the hole, stands up, right on the money there to Ryan Howard, getting some high fives coming in.
Mentioned that Pete's playing second base in this first game, and he's doing so for Chase Utley, who, according to Charlie Manuel, is ready to go and will be in game 2. So Orr, over the last 10 days, got a chance to play a little bit. Carlos Ruiz will catch game 2. And he is sitting back and enjoying this first game against the Marlins. Really, looks like they're doing some impersonations there, Sarge.
Well, you know, the thing about, too, and looking at that particular pitcher there was Carlos sitting right in the middle of both their starters. They really respect and like him so much, and you have to be able to get along, to be on the same page. Well, you don't always see hitters sitting with pitchers like that, but obviously altogether a different day these days.
Ibanez to left center field. Morrison makes the catch. You guys wouldn't sit with pitchers?
Well, I mean, you'd sit with them, but you wouldn't just sit there the whole game. I can guarantee you that. And nothing, I mean, wrong with it. Again, these guys there are on the same page, and like I'm saying, they give Carlos a lot of credit for the way that he calls the game and how comfortable they feel in throwing the game on the mound.
There's Kyle Kendrick, who's sitting kind of by himself. Scott Sheridan, Phillies athletic trainer, is nearby. Kyle's not allowed a hit so far through 4. Yeah, they over the years, pitchers have been very comfortable with Carlos Ruiz. 2-0 the count to Orr.
Well, you get new pitchers that come from different leagues, and they really like the way he calls a game and catches. That says something.
Well, Halladay kind of sensed that in the first bullpen session he had with Ruiz last year. Brad Lidge talked about that his first spring training with Carlos behind the plate. You know, he had Brad Ausmus, who was a mainstay for him behind the plate in Houston. Brad said that, you know, the first week or so that he worked with Ruiz, he could sense that he was as good as Brad Ausmus.
Yeah. Well, you know, again, you don't really realize a lot of times you're always looking at the offense, especially with guys that play every day, but your worth can be doing what you do best, and that is throwing runners out, although pitchers haven't been doing a great job in holding runners on to give Carlos a chance, but he's got a good arm.
2-2 the count to Pedor. Phillies up 2-0. They scored 2 runs in the first. And a called strike 3. Orr's down looking. Third strikeout for Sanchez. Well, did you have tickets for Sunday, August 14th? Well, make sure you've made note of the rescheduled game on your calendar. That postponed game is rescheduled for this Tuesday, September 20th at 1:05. So tickets for August 14th, which is game number 62, you'll see it right on your tickets, should be used for Tuesday, September 20th at 1:05. That's a day-night doubleheader against the Washington Nationals. It's the first of that day-night doubleheader. All part of the 33 games in 31 days for the Phillies. Good change up, 0-2 to Schneider.
Well, it's interesting when you talk to a lot of the guys and early on about how many games it was going to take to finish. Oh, most of them never knew as that fastball comes right back. It just goes to show you that they take it one day at a time.
Well, Kyle Kendrick's taking it 1 inning at a time. We go to the 5th. He's got a 2-0 lead to work with. Well, we've got a little Philadelphia Union playoff push coming up. Don't forget this Saturday night they will battle one of the top teams in the conference, the Columbus Crew. Pre-game coverage starts Saturday night at 7 right here on the Comcast Network. Logan Morrison takes a strike. There's the two-seamer. It didn't come all the way back. It's 1 ball and 1 strike. We watch Kendrick and Worley throw that two-seamer, and you wonder, why can't everybody throw it?
Well, it's a way that you obviously position your fingers on the ball to get that movement.
Now that's a changeup.
Yeah. I'd like him to do that pitch, to put those guys away as opposed to showing it early in the at-bat and then trying to get them out late. You want that pitch more so as a surprise where that hitter is not giving up on the ball for that strike 3 call.
Looks like they're going to come back with it again. The 1-2 in the dirt. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
That's what's so difficult. That pitch that's inside, he has one that cuts in on the hands, and he has one that goes away. Pick up that spin on that cutter that's coming in on you. That two-seamer, very difficult pitch to hit. Just depending on the movement. Greg Maddux actually almost made that pitch famous, getting strike 3 calls on those.
Well, he probably threw it better than anybody. And he passed it on to guys like Kevin Millwood, who's pitching right now for the Colorado Rockies, and used to throw that pitch, I thought, as good as anybody.
Yeah, but one of the things, though, for Greg, he was able to throw the ball on the outside corner to set it up on the inside. He had pinpoint control.
Outside, 3-2. John Buck's on deck. He's the only base runner today. He was hit by a pitch in the second. To right field. That's deep. And that's going to be the first hit, the first run of the day for the Florida Marlins. A home run by Logan Morrison, his 20th of the year. It's a 2-1 ball game.
You know what? He put down 2 on that, which I guess is their fastball or sinker, but it was almost as if Kyle really didn't want to throw that pitch, almost as if he was uncertain as he kind of rocked back a little bit, really thinking about that. It got way too much of the plate there to Logan Morrison. Well, there he is already in the windup, but look where he throws it, almost just aiming that ball where he wanted to go, as opposed to throwing it and letting that ball go. Almost as if it was a batting practice pitch, if you will.
There's a pop-up left side. Michael Martinez battling the wind, makes the catch. 1 out here in the 5th. Well, 20 home runs for Logan Morrison. This has been an up and down year for Morrison. He was sent down by the Florida Marlins, not for any real reason, but they wanted him to kind of get himself in line. He was tweeting a lot, and he was making a number of different comments that they, I don't think the Marlins really enjoyed. So he went down for 10 days and then came back up. He missed an appearance that they had set up. And, the advice of Wes Helms.
He got sent down for tweeting.
Well,
not his performance on the field.
I think it was partly that.
Well, he's got 20 home runs, so obviously it's not the performance on the field.
It was a meet and greet with season ticket holders, and he was sent down right after that when he didn't show up for the meet and greet. And because of that, he has filed a grievance against his team for what he believes was a wrongful demotion last month. And we'll see what happens with that, because he's a young player who's kind of challenging his organization. You don't see that often.
Yeah, that's unprecedented, and that really means that he's really suing his club for being sent down, basically.
1-2 the count to Brian Peterson.
Well, obviously there is no hard feelings because he's still playing and in the lineup. But, you know, again, 20 home runs in definitely a year where there hasn't been a lot of guys hitting the ball. I mean, for not attending a particular program, I mean, you could take the guy's money, maybe. Well, if you send him all the way down to the minor leagues, I mean, for not attending a particular program, yeah, I mean, you should attend something that is not right. But usually you get sent down if it isn't a numbers problem because of your play on the field, not doing the job on the field.
Well, they did cite at the time that he was being sent down for baseball reasons as Kendrick picks up another strikeout. But it's Morrison's contention that he was sent down for just the 10 days. He was sent down because he failed to attend this meet and greet. And Larry Beinfest, who was the Marlins president of baseball operations, told the media the day after Morrison was sent out that he needed to learn more about being a major leaguer. So it'll be interesting to see what happens with that. I don't know all the details of the grievance, but I'm sure it's to recoup some of the monies that he probably would have earned during that 10-day period up in the major leagues. 0-2 the count to Donnie Murphy.
Wow.
I mean, he's just 24 years old.
Not a bad player. I mean, obviously evident of what he's doing right now. Had a chance to get in the high 70s by the end of the year.
Pence over toward the line, and he runs out of room.
Playing in that ballpark, though, with the Florida Marlins, not a home run hitting ballpark at all. Anybody, if you take a look at Andre Dawson, Hall of Famer Andre Dawson now, he has been actually helping their right fielder out quite a bit, although he has a little bit of an injury right now.
That's Mike Stanton.
But not just Mike, though. I mean, all of the hitters, and obviously Andre, good hitter. This is going to be one of the better, already is, younger hitters in the game today. Hits the ball as hard as anybody in the game in terms of line drives or balls being hit a long way out of the ballpark.
Just missed outside, 1-2. 2-1 Phillies here in the top of the fifth. Pitches by Edding for Kendrick, 22 here in the fifth. This will be the 23rd where he tries to get the final out. Grounder toward third, fair ball, knocked down by Polanco, and that slip just cost him.
That's a tough play. In between hop, tried to backhand it.
Well, they've scored a hit, so it's the second hit of the day for the Marlins.
You can see him as he goes back, tries to backhand it. It's up high and a little bit slippery. Even when he knocks it down, if he's able to pick it up, might have a good chance to throw him out.
So Sanchez will bat here in the top of the 5th. The run is already across for the Marlins. They've made it a 1-run game. Little swing and bunt up the third base line. That'll trickle foul. Every time the Phillies retire, the opposing team 1, 2, 3. Comcast will make a contribution to Phillies charities. Phillies baseball is brought to you by the Xfinity HD Triple Play, your complete lineup for digital TV, lightning fast internet, and home phone. Kendrick's done that 3 times this afternoon. Ahead 0-2 to Sanchez. Got him. Schneider hangs on, second strikeout of the inning. The Marlins do get their first hit and their first run. It comes on a solo home run by Logan Morrison to begin the 5th. So we play 4.5 in game 1 of this day-night doubleheader. It's the Phillies 2 and the Marlins 1. Well, the Majestic Clubhouse store at Citizens Bank Park is your postseason home for official Phillies merchandise. Now featuring the MLB Authentic Collection t-shirts and hoodies with more 2011 postseason styles to arrive daily. The Majestic Clubhouse store at Citizens Bank Park, open every day from 10 a.m. until 6 p.m. Bottom of the 5th, Michael Martinez will lead it off for the Phillies. It'll be Martinez and then John Bowker, who's in the on-deck circle. So Kyle Kendrick's day, it looks like it's done. Michael Stutz is warming up. Kendrick 5 innings this afternoon, 1 run on 2 hits.
He pitched a pretty good game.
Yeah, they said they weren't locked into a specific pitch count, but you had to expect that, since he hasn't pitched in 21 days, that he wouldn't go as deep as normal, although he did throw a bullpen session the other day.
Well, 6 strikeouts will tell you that he had pretty good movement. There's Charlie, he's putting in his pinch hitter. Well, the good thing, though, about that outing, Tom, he was throwing strikes, which you like.
Bowker lines the first pitch foul as he pinch hits here in the bottom of the 5th.
Well, keeping the ball out of the heart of the plate. And then one pitch, though, to Logan was, I'm sure, a pitch obviously he would want back, but right into his wheelhouse.
Kendrick threw 78 pitches, 53 strikes.
Yeah. probably do John to get in to see maybe four at-bats during the game.
Do him some good?
Yeah, a little difficult sometimes when, you know, you're coming in to pinch hit. You're in a new situation and a little bit nervous, I'm sure, up there in pinch hitting. He'll get himself 4 at-bats or so and then be able to kind of settle down.
Well, he was out in front and fooled. 4 straight strikeouts for Sanchez. Time to take a look at our Mazda League leaders, and there he is, Anibal Sanchez, with his 6 strikeouts today, now with 190. So he's 5th in the National League. Kershaw, Lincecum, Doc, Cliff Lee. Doc and Cliff Lee tied for 3rd, and then Sanchez. How about Clayton Kershaw last night, Sarge?
Oh, boy. I tell you, what a curveball. I mean, he's really starting to perfect that curveball that he's throwing, where he throws it about 76. 12-6 that he throws that. Fastball, too. Sorry, Tom.
Kershaw got the win last night for the Dodgers, dropped his earned run average to a league-leading 2.30. He also got thrown out of the ballgame. I mentioned yesterday how the Dodgers and the Diamondbacks got into a little shouting match from dugout to dugout the night before. Kershaw was part of it. An incident that occurred with Gerardo Parra at the plate. Well, he knew his outing was done last night, and he threw one a little tight to Parra and hit him and was ejected from the game.
Yeah, and I didn't think at the time that should have been an ejection. I mean, he's got something that he's playing for, and that's the Cy Young. So he wasn't at that time, I wouldn't think, trying to hit anyone. The game was still close. Threw an inside fastball to Parra. Parra leaning over and got nailed, and off he went.
Ground ball right side. Sanchez scoops it up, flips to Sanchez covering, and a 1-2-3 5th inning. So 3-1 on the putout, and Anibal Sanchez has settled in as we go to the 6th with the Phillies on top, 2-1. The man to count on in a time of need. Anytime the Phillies have needed to pick me up the last 2 seasons, he was there to answer the call. When they needed perfection, he was perfect. And when they needed to kick off last postseason with a bang, he sounded off in a very big way. The call went out in Houston, and Doc came out firing. His Texas-sized domination earned him his 20th career shutout, gave the Phillies their 5th straight postseason berth. And it's brought to you by Independence Blue Cross. Now more than ever, we're here for you every step of the way. Well, Doc did seem to be destined, Sarge, yesterday to pitch a complete game. It was his first shutout of the year. With all the shutouts the Phillies have thrown, they've thrown 21 shutouts this season. And he certainly has his share of complete games, but those are his numbers compared to the first half, what he's done in the second half. He'll watch Michael Stutz pick up for Kyle Kendrick here in the top of the 6th. It's a 2-1 ball game. And Stutes delivers a strike to Bonifacio. It's 0-1.
I want to keep him off the bases. He will split your concentration if you're a pitcher because of the speed that he has.
Well, there you go. Back up the middle, a base hit. He didn't hit it hard. And a leadoff single for Bonifacio. 36 steals this year for Bonifacio.
You know, the game that Doc pitched yesterday, I mean, it is a typical number one. I mean, to beat a team 1-0, a lot of things have to go right. But more importantly, you got to be able to make some pitches. And even though it looks easy, he admitted that it wasn't all that easy. But, I mean, he made a house call and was really cutting them up back and forth. Being able to get ground out and strikeouts when you need to. It's just uncanny. And he has the ability to do just that.
Well, the bases loaded, nobody out jam in the second. That was a huge turning point. As you see Bonifacio's stolen base numbers. Infante shows bunt, takes low and away, 1-0.
It's just a matter of time before he goes. Stutes has such a big leg kick. Unless he uses that slide step. Well, we haven't pitched out very much this year. It may not be a bad call.
Well, he had Bonifacio leaning. Now time is called.
Yeah, he's going to go out and manicure the dirt out there. We talked about a lead where out near where that cutoff is. Well, I should say the cutout. That's usually a good lead, but maybe they won't get that far because it is a little wet. They can do whatever they want on this count. You can hit and run on the 2-0 count. You can steal on this count, or see whether or not. Ooh, that's close. Even though he has a big leg kick, he has quick feet as he throws that ball. Almost gets him over there, but that's the other reason you can't get as big a lead. Even though that leg kick is big, like I mentioned, he has quick feet. There it is again.
Yeah, and Bonifacio shortened his lead up. Down the right field line, it'll slice out of play. 2-1 the count.
You know, Greg Maddox, one of those pitchers, didn't use the slide step. He didn't like it. More of a longer leg kick going home with a man on base like Stutes. But again, he had pinpoint control, and his philosophy was just don't let him on base. Another good running count.
There he goes. Pitch is taken inside. The throw to second by Schneider. Not in time. 37th stolen base.
Got to continue to watch him, however, because he will take off and steal third. Look at the jump that he gets. That's what I'm talking about when I said earlier, not having a chance for Carlos to throw a lot of runners out because the runners are getting such terrific jumps. You know, even though he throws the ball on the mound there, and I'm sorry, that's Snyder, you just aren't able to get those guys.
It's going to be a tough play for Stutes. Good play by Howard. The runner goes to third. One away.
It really doesn't matter which one of the catchers are in there. I mean, if you're not going to give them a chance to be able to throw that runner out, they get great jumps. It's just going to be almost like a double. Walk turns into a double, or single turns into a double there as you take a look at Mr. Snyder.
Dobbs is flied out to left. He's grounded a second. 0 for 2. Phillies play the infield back with one out and Bonifacio at first. The only one that's up is Polanco at third. At a strike, it's 0-1. And 2.
This afternoon's attendance, 44,216. 44216. It is the 195th straight regular season setup.
Well, he tried to backdoor a breaking ball. It stays outside. 1-2.
He's looking for a strikeout. Strikeout or pop up. And Dobbs has come back, had a decent year this year. 8 home runs, 49 RBIs up to this point. A little more playing time he's getting. Good pitch. Slider, back foot. There it is again. There's that slider. Watch how it dips down. Boy, it just disappears. Hitter's kind of thinking that's a fastball. Gets out in front. Good pitch there by Stutz.
Now 1 out away from getting out of the 6th. It's Gabby Sanchez who takes a slider high. 1-0. Sanchez 0 for 2. Struck out in the second. Flied out to left his last time up. That slider.
Sanchez looking for fastball. The ability in the major leagues for a pitcher to be able to throw a breaking ball when it's 2-0 or 3-1.
Ball 4. So first and third. First walk issued by the Phils staff. And they'll bring Morrison to the plate. Come out early Saturday and celebrate German Heritage Night. German Heritage Beer Garden tent will begin at 5 and run until 7. Citizens Bank Way by the third base gate. Traditional German food, variety of beers, live entertainment. Again, it's German Heritage Night here at the ballpark. Phillies will take on the St. Louis Cardinals on Saturday night. 4 straight night games against the Cards, who are in town. They have an off day here in Philadelphia. Morrison's 1 for 2, a home run.
Well, the home run he hit was down, but out over the plate. That ball down, but inside. Pitch him in. You want to make sure you tie him up because those long arms, he gets extended. You can drive the ball.
Popped him up. That's a good pitch. He got it inside. Howard, it's Orr who makes the call. And a nice job by Michael Stutz. He got himself into a little bit of trouble and then left 2. We've played 5.5 here in Philadelphia. Placido Polanco will lead it off when we return. Talk to us today about how we can help guide you to the loan that's right for you. By the Quality Plus Ford stores and by Southwest Airlines. Find our fares online only at southwest.com. It's the 195th consecutive sellout here at Citizens Bank Park during the regular season. Placido Polanco leads it off here in the bottom of the 6th. It's 2-1 Phillies. 2 first-inning runs against Anibal Sanchez since that time. He hasn't allowed a hit, and he's only walked 1 batter since the first. And there's the first hit since the first inning for the Phillies. Ends a streak of 10 in a row retired by Sanchez. Going to bring Hunter Pence to the plate. Ground ball to second. Infante flips to second for 1. That's all they'll get. 4-6 on a putout.
Good slide by Polanco going in to break that up. I tell you, first pitch fastball hitter Hunter Pence is. He had hit the ball hard twice before then. Just needs to get a little bit more discipline and getting the ball as, a hittable strike. There's that slide as he disrupted. A little bit wet, so you're going to be able to slide a little bit longer. Watch how he just keeps on going as he gets past the bag there.
Yeah, hands were high as he slid in, trying to guard the
just trying to make sure
path.
Either hit his legs or whatever, just to disrupt the throw.
Ryan Howard's 0 for 2 today. Trying to get back on track. The major league leader in runs batted in with 112.
Just start hitting the ball hard and he'll get or have good results.
Howard, strike out at your gate.
Over to the right side. Murphy flips to Dobbs for 1. That's all they'll get. Pence went in hard to disrupt Dobbs. So 6-5 on the putout at second. 2 outs. Comcast sponsors the Be a Fanatic About Reading program. The Fanatic encourages children to read for a minimum of 15 minutes a day. Teachers register for the program, which is open to grades K through 8. Materials include bookmarks and pencils for each student, plus the opportunity to win a Fanatic literacy visit for their school. For information, email fandev@phillies.com. Here's Ibanez, an RBI double his first time up. 10 consecutive years of 30 doubles or more. There's only one other player in the majors, Sarge, that is in that category with Ibanez. Albert Pujols.
He would be a guy that would do that. I was just trying to think of somebody with that longevity or had played as long. And you're right. And that is being consistent. Well, he likes swinging at that high pitch. Fighting Phils need to chip away a few more runs here. Don't like to stay close to clubs that put a feather in their cap once they win against you. Might as well just blow them out.
Tough pitch, 3-1.
Yeah.
On the outside quarter, according to James Hoy, the home plate umpire.
They're not going to hold Ryan Howard on 3-2. And that's just great because he can get a bigger jump, larger lead. Maybe if that ball hit in the gap, might be able to score on that ball.
Well, there goes Howard. And a swing and a miss. So the Phillies got the leadoff batter aboard. A leadoff single by Polanco. They leave one. We've played 6. Sanchez has been good. The Phillies have been a little bit better.
Verizon Wireless game summary, solid 5 innings from Kyle Kendrick here this afternoon. Gave up the home run to Logan Morrison. Other than that, he was really good. Anibal Sanchez, well, we mentioned that in the keys of the game, the scouting report. This guy can throw a good game at any moment, and he gave up a couple of quick runs today, and since then he has been really good with a lot of strikeouts.
Well, John Buck leads off the 7th with a single up the middle against Michael Stutz. Stutz pitched the scoreless 6th inning in relief of Kyle Kendrick.
Gave up a leadoff single in the 6th and wiggled out of that jam, and they have to try and do it again.
Marlins do have bullpen action because the pitcher spot is due up 4th in this inning. Brian Peterson is up now. He's 0 for 2. Ryan Webb is up and throwing in the pen for the Marlins. Pretty good chance they'll pinch hit for Sanchez if they get a runner in scoring position and he gets up here in the top of the 7th. Brian Peterson's playing a lot of center field lately for the Marlins. Mike Stanton, who is their normal right fielder, is out with a hamstring injury. Although he did pinch hit a couple days ago and hit a home run against the Braves.
Said there's a chance he could play in the second game. Now you're wondering now if this field's gotten kind of wet, you know, whether they would do that or not. But we were told that there's more than a good chance that he would play game 2.
Well, there he is. He might even be the pinch hitter in this inning. Jack McKeon's basically told Stanton, you tell me when you're 100% and I'll put you in the starting lineup.
Yeah, because he sure wants him in there. One of the rising stars, if not already risen in this league. Boy, he has some raw power.
3-1 the count. Donnie Murphy's on deck. He's the 8-hitter. There goes the runner. Pitch is lifted in the air to left field. A little bit of a decoy by Michael Martinez at second, but Buck saw it all the way. And he goes back to first. These lucky fans are today's Citizen 7. They were interested in a prize pack courtesy of Citizens Bank. Citizens Bank with the most 7-day branches in the Philadelphia area. To find a branch near you, visit citizensbank.com. Sanchez is out of the on-deck circle. Donnie Murphy's the batter. He's 1 for 2.
I mean, they're going to wait to see what Murphy does here before they show a pinch hitter who it's going to be, or whether they let Sanchez stay in the game with 2 outs.
Got John Baker near the bat rack. Stanton was wandering around. Inside, 1 ball, 1 strike. They appeal, and no, says the first base umpire, Mike Estabrook. The umpires will rotate for the second game of this day-night doubleheader. There'll be a new umpire added to do the plate. That'll be Phil Cuzzy in game 2. Swing and a miss. The current home plate umpire, James Hoy, he'll be given the night off so he can enjoy a dinner in Philadelphia if he chooses. What happens is that Phil Cuzzy will come in and do the plate. The first base umpire, Mike Estabrook, will go over to third. And then Tom Hallion, who's at second, will move to first, and Bill Miller, who's at third, will move to second.
And you wonder if all these guys will then move on, or if any of them will keep the crew over. Just a 2-game series in one day, but 4 games coming up. That would be 6 games they would have here.
Fly ball center field. Playable for Victorino. The wind is really blowing in now. Well, today winds down the season series between these two teams. Phillies are 10-6 against the Marlins. They've pitched just like they've pitched against everybody else exceptionally well. Against Florida, they've out-homered the Marlins, and they certainly have scored more runs per game against the Marlins.
Yeah, and they've lost 4 out of the last 5 to them, too, to be 10-6. So they got off to a great start against this team. The next time we see them, they will be the Miami Marlins.
Yeah, I was surprised that the Phillies weren't the opponent, or the Braves weren't the opponent for the first game in the new ballpark next year.
Yeah, a lot of people speculated that could be the way they would go with it, but you know, who knows how the schedule's made up.
Jose Lopez is the pinch hitter for Sanchez. Just 88 pitches for Sanchez.
Yeah, he did his thing today. A lot of strikeouts. Gave up a couple quick runs away. Real good starter. How many times do we say that? Get a starter in the first inning, because they settle down those kind of guys. And he showed you how good he is with all that off-speed stuff, and an above-average fastball too. Throws change-up at any time. Good curveball. One of the better games he's had here. Although he actually has been in some close games in this ballpark. He just never seems to win here.
Yeah, he pitched one earlier this year against Halladay, and he left with the lead.
That was in a split doubleheader.
Line drive foul down the left field line. The pitch was up. And it's 2-2 to Lopez. Buck goes back to first.
walked one in the game, and that was Kyle Kendrick.
Another line drive foul.
He's got this guy out in front on fastball and slider. Talk about somebody who's trying to get started early.
Yes, the wind is a-blowing here at the ballpark. Amazing that they would have thought to bring those to the game.
Explain to me why you would do that.
I don't know.
Oh, I thought you had a theory.
I really don't have a theory. Maybe they were able to purchase them here at some place.
Just the way you said it, it's amazing why they would bring them here. I'm thinking, man, if you know that, I want to hear why.
When I was a kid, I probably would have thought they were fun to have. Well, that must have been some kind of giveaway.
Yeah.
2-2 pitch. There was a giveaway today. The folks at ShopRite sponsored a giveaway for fans 14 and under. It was the Cliff Lee gym bag, back to school gym bag.
There it is. Boy, is this guy out front.
Toward third. Oh, what a play by Polanco, like a vacuum behind the bag, and the side is retired. Man, did that ball get to him fast, and he was able to react even faster. 5-3 on the put out, but put a star on it, folks. Placido Polanco, the best fielding percentage of any third baseman in the National League. Name the Phillies pitchers that both threw shutouts in a doubleheader on April 23rd, 1961.
Well, we talked about the guest because we talked about him so much this year. It's his 40th anniversary of setting the Phillies, or is it the 50th anniversary? Anyway, set that record for the Phillies. It still stands.
17 strikeouts
right.
in the game. Yeah.
That was in 61.
Okay.
That was Art Mahaffey.
Art Mahaffey is correct.
But other than that, on that staff, and here's a wild guess. Remember I told you they had a 23-game losing streak?
Yes.
It was ended by a pitcher named Johnny Bazard, so I'm just going to throw his name around there.
Johnny Bazard is incorrect.
Yeah, who is? Oh, it was really big is my clue. That might be Gene Conley. How about Frank Sullivan?
Frank Sullivan is correct.
You're right.
Ray Tipton, our director, was giving Wheels some hints.
He said a really big shoe right here in our shoe, so that had to be Sullivan.
Log back on to Phillies.com to find out if you're the winner of a Phillies prize pack. Thanks for playing Dodge Stump the Fans.
Came up with Gene Conley, but he did pitch for the Phillies and also, of course, was an NBA player.
Ryan Webb starts the bottom of the 7th for the Marlins, and Pete Orr fouls it back. It's 0-1.
Frank Sullivan is the guy who coined the great line that when there you see the numbers on Ryan Webb, when the players got off the plane that night after losing 23 in a row, and I happened to be there with some of my high school buddies. We were nuts enough to do that back in those days. He said, boys, let's scatter so they can't get us all with one shot.
That bad, huh?
Oh, 23 in a row.
Well, first game, Frank scattered 7 hits, didn't walk anybody, struck out 6. Second game, Art Mahaffey did it a little bit better.
Yeah.
4 hits, 1 walk, 17 strikeouts.
Frank Sullivan pitched a shutout, huh? Wow.
Give the man some credit, Wheels.
Well, they had 47 wins, so they got 2 of them real quick that day. The most strikeouts in Phillies history. Shorty had 18. That was he started that game.
15-inning ball game.
Yeah.
That's you would never see that today.
No. Nope. And Art Mahaffey still holds the 9-inning record for strikeouts in a game.
Good changeup by Webb. Orr's down swinging. 8th strikeout for Marlins pitching. There's Bastardo up and throwing.
That's really interesting to go back to that year. Well, here's Anibal Sanchez today, and he was really good. He had 7 strikeouts, good curveball, used his changeup, sliders. That was that little running fastball that he backed up twice there to Brian Schneider. That was a slider, it looked like. Breaking ball there, another breaking ball. Guy has tremendous stuff. He has 3 or 4 out pitches. Talking about the Phillies maybe winning 100 games or 105 games. Well, that team lost 107 in 61. Gene Mauch's the next year they got to around 500 with Gene Mauch.
Ball's hit hard right past Gabby Sanchez, who looked like he was sitting in cement. And he looks back to see where his footing was. And Brian Schneider has his first hit of the day.
That's nice for Brian to get a hit there. He does such a good job behind the plate when he gets a chance to play. And as Tom said, he didn't get much of a jump on that because he slipped a little bit. And the base hit in the hole.
So he's looking for some insurance here in the bottom of the 7th. They have 6 outs to get with a 1-run lead. And Chase Utley's coming out of the on-deck circle.
This will get quite a reaction. There's just a little murmur started.
Martinez takes low and away.
Hey, look who's out there. Oh, that's a good sign. Sure is. Charlie says he's going to play the second game. Chase Utley is, so might as well give him an at-bat here.
Second meanest player in Major League Baseball.
Yeah,
yes.
but what is the definition of meanest?
I don't know. I didn't see the article just arrived today in my mailbox, so I haven't seen it. But the magazine has just arrived.
You said Pierzynski's number 1. He's more of a chirpy, chippy kind of guy. Utley is not chirpy. He doesn't say much during the game.
But his demeanor, I mean, he takes it serious.
Gamer. Plays hard. Ask middle infielders how they like him coming at them. Pierzynski's a catcher who sits behind home plate and chirps all the time. You know, that's been his reputation. Utley once in a while will, you know, he'll say something to a pitcher. Pitcher say something to him. Cordial.
There's ball 4. So first and second with 1 out. And Chase Utley will get a chance to pinch hit.
Batting for Phillies pitcher Michael Stoops. Number 26, Chase Utley.
What a great reaction. He missed the entire road trip because he was hit by a pitch last week here at home. And the Phillies did not want to take any chances. He sustained a concussion. Went through all the proper steps to get himself back. Was taking ground balls here yesterday. And was cleared a couple days ago to begin baseball activities, and that's now led to him being in a ball game.
I guess they also figured there's no sense in flying him all the way to Houston after the concussion. Let him get better and play when the club got home, and here he is.
0-1 the count to Utley. Runners on first and second. Outside, 1 ball, 1 strike. Give him a chance to see some live pitching in this pinch hitting appearance.
See how stir crazy he was. Oh, this time of the year.
Fouls it back, 1-2. Major League Baseball takes very serious any potential concussions. They've instituted guidelines for a player who has been diagnosed with a concussion. They've instituted guidelines for that player to get back into a ball game. And teams have to follow those guidelines. And that's what the Phillies had to do. And rightfully so. A line drive, base hit into center field. Schneider will be held at third. Martinez to second. He had to wait just a few extra seconds to see if that ball could be caught or not. And that's why he had to hold up to third.
Yeah, that's also why it's nice when you're on the end of a team having to cheat for a double play to keep the game where it is, because that ball's an out if he's in his normal spot. Chase hit it off the end of the bat a little bit. He had a good at bat there. Webb has a heavy sinker pitch out over the plate. Now see where the shortstop is, Murphy. He was, and Schneider, as Tom said, he's got to be careful because you don't want to get doubled there, obviously, but he's cheating in for a double play at that point. So as a result, the ball goes over his head.
Well, the Phillies looking for some insurance here in the bottom of the 7th. Their magic number to clinch the National League East is at 4 games. The Braves idle today, so the Phillies will have to take care of their magic number by themselves with this day-night doubleheader and whittle it down. Cliff Lee scheduled to pitch tonight.
Now, see, you usually don't see the second game pitcher in these games hanging out in the dugout like that. But he's just, you know, he's not conventional.
The infield is in with the bases loaded and 1 out.
Another great way to hit. Infield in, same way Chase was just ending with the infield of double play depth.
Foul ball. It's 0-1.
A lot more room to make things happen. Trying to get Victorino going right now. He's been pretty consistent offensively all year, but right now in a little bit of a funk. Plenty of time to get out of it. Timing just hasn't been real good.
One of his grand slams in the regular season against the Marlins down at Dolphin Stadium. That's what it was at the time.
Lindstrom, I think. He's now pitching for who? Colorado.
For the Colorado Rockies.
This guy's a ground ball pitcher. Hank. That's his dad. Ryan Webb. He's a real good sinker ball pitcher, and that's what he's trying to do right now, get a ground ball and come home with it. He said they're not going to play for a double play with Victorino because of his speed from the left side. Ooh, look out.
Smoked it to the crowd over the third base side. 1-2 the count. ball hit right off the rail and took a carom into the lap of someone. And a called strike 3. It did look like a strike, and there were 2 outs.
Yeah, he threw a breaking ball here. We talked about all the sinkers that Webb throws. Threw a slider right there, and he locked him. That's a strike. That was a real good pitch.
Polanco has 2 hits today. That ball nearly hit him. Did it get him? Nope, he spun out of the way.
The way these uniforms are nowadays, you figure that had to hit the uniform somewhere. Look at how blousy that uniform is, and how did that hit part of that uniform? It didn't.
I thought it hit the edge of the sleeve.
Yeah, you think it would, because you see that so many times. Will take one for the club. Well, he's been hit enough, has enough injuries to take a 95 when you don't know where it's going to hit you. Said it's just going to brush his uni. Yeah, all right, but who knows?
Here they got him again.
That's that heavy sinker that Webb throws, and it comes running into that right-handed batter. It's a dangerous pitch to throw in these situations, of course, because you hit a guy, you force a run in. I think that cold front is upon us right now with this wind.
I think you're right. Well, he's worked it into a good hitter's count with the bases loaded here in the bottom of the 7th. Schneider's over at 3rd. Martinez at 2nd. And Utley with a pinch hit singles over at 1st. Hunter Pence is on deck. If he gets up, the Phils will have added to their lead. Base hit should score 2. The 3-1 pitch. Inside, ball 4. A walk scores 1. And the Phillies take a 3-1 lead. And Jack McKeon's already signaled to the pen. 2 walks, 2 hits in the inning for the Phillies. That's going to be it for Ryan Webb.
He just lost control of his sinker, and it kept running in on Placido Polanco. Very good at bat. That baby isn't even close. All 4 RBI for him.
So Ryan Webb exits. The Phillies have a 2-run lead. Another right-hitter's coming in. This is an AT&T call to the bullpen here at Citizens Bank Park. unique spaces and on-site catering available year-round for many types of functions, both large and small. Take advantage of all the ballpark has to offer, including tours, Fanavision usage. Call the special events department at 215-218-5100 or visit Phillies.com/special events. 3-1 Phillies, bottom of the 7th. Bases are loaded. Chris Hatcher, the former catcher, is on the mound. 7.88 earned run average. The guy throws hard, and he is still trying to refine his control.
412 right-handed hitters against him.
And right-handed hitting, Hunter Pence takes strike one.
Feels like September just arrived.
This feels like October just arrived.
Yeah.
Chris Hatcher caught last year for the Marlins. Guys have made the transition from being a position player to being a pitcher or vice versa. But it's taken usually a few years to get back to the majors once they've been to the majors. This guy has made it back in a year, less than a year.
He just threw a fastball hard and then threw a slider there. The wind almost blew him off the mound.
Well, if the poncho's not on, it's going to be tough to get it on now.
Oh yeah, it's tough to do in the wind. You gotta do the poncho. Poncho has to happen before the wind.
Ground ball to third. Dobbs charges, takes it to the bag, and just gets there ahead of Utley. The Phillies do tack on an insurance run with a bases loaded walk. All right, you have 90 seconds to get that poncho on before we return. By Xfinity, only from Comcast, the official HD triple play provider of the Phillies. And by Jeep Brand, we don't just make SUVs, we make history. No, we gave him 90 seconds. We actually gave him a little longer, and he got it on. Part of it, anyway. That's the gentleman in the blue. Right there you go. At least his head's covered. And his left arm. His right arm, well, that's another story.
Think that's easy?
I do not think it's easy, but it certainly is funny.
Oh, it's great.
Jimmy Rollins comes into the ball game to play shortstop. Michael Martinez goes from shortstop over to second base.
Yeah, they're doing everything they can to just keep this baby going right now. You're in the 8th inning. Another game to follow.
And Antonio Bastardo is the new pitcher. Bastardo, 59 games coming in, 6-1, a 1.99 earned run average. The opponent's batting average against 119. He hasn't pitched since the 9th of September, so it's been 6 days.
Yeah, they tried to back him off a little bit, and they felt he needed some rest.
Bonifacio will lead it off here in the 8th. And he takes strike one.
Now, these conditions are miserable right now, but he needs more than anything to just go out there and have a nice clean inning, throw strikes, feel good again about his command the way that he has all year.
Oh, and 2 the count.
That's a good start. So strike 1, strike 2.
Yeah, talked to Rich Doobie about it. He said, you know, it's nothing physical. Fastball's got good velocity. Slider has good movement. It could be more upstairs. You know, he's run into a little bit of a rough patch, and you know sometimes that cracks your confidence.
A little mental fatigue sometimes. It can set in. It's a long, long year.
First time today that Bonifacio's hitting right-handed. Kyle Kendrick went the first 5 innings. He allowed a run. Michael Stutz the last 2.
Kyle Kendrick did a really good job as a starter today. He worked fast. He threw strikes with all his pitches. And Michael Stutz, a little bit of trouble in his 2 innings, but he got the job done too. Now I don't know whether they would think about Madsen in this game or not, but they really need to get Bastardo going because he's a big part of this club.
Bonifacio fights off the 1-2.
If you had to win this game, you'd say there's no doubt they'd go Bastardo Madsen here at the end.
Well, it's set up for that right now.
Yep, sure is.
Another foul ball. Game 2 is coming up. 7:35 scheduled first pitch. Cliff Lee will be the starter for the Phillies. And it's the final game between the Phillies and the Marlins this year. Bonifacio fits in next year. You figure he's going to fit in as a super utility man because of Hanley Ramirez's surgery. Ramirez, according to reports, was operated on today. Now he says he should be available for the start of the season, but if he's not, they're going to need somebody to play shortstop.
Yeah, and this guy can play all over the place. When you can play shortstop and center field in the major leagues, what a valuable player.
Today he's playing right field. Fly ball left center field. The wind's going to keep this in the yard by a good amount.
Talk about Kyle today, how good he was. Came right out throwing strikes, had a quick first inning, had his cutter. He got a called third on a cutter there, used his changeup effectively. Sinker ball, of course, his best pitch. That was another cutter, a backdoor one. And Logan Morrison just gave him a really good at bat before hitting a home run. And nice job by Kendrick, who I guess will start next Tuesday in the next.
That's the plan.
Doubleheader.
Yeah, he's in line to start on Tuesday in the day-night doubleheader against the Washington Nationals.
Trying to keep that hand warm. We haven't seen that for a long time.
Omar Infante's the batter with 1 out. Takes inside, 1 ball, no strikes.
Martinez moving over to second, and Jimmy Rollins in the game at shortstop. And wind out there is making it pretty cold all of a sudden. There's Jimmy. He's throwing a lot of strikes.
Well, that's a big one tonight in Boston. Tampa against the Red Sox. The Rays are closing. See the standings in the wild card. The Rays are within 4 of the Red Sox. The Angels are right there too.
And Boston is what, 4 behind the Yankees?
Line drive to left field. That'll be in for a base hit. And it's going to the wall. And Infante's going to second. And he'll get there standing with a 1-out double. Yeah, the magic numbers are set up like this in the American League. The Yankees' magic number is 11 over the Red Sox. The Tigers is 7. And the Texas Rangers' magic number is 11. And here comes Mike Stanton.
Yep. Looking for a spot to use him. And here he comes as a tying run against a left-hander. Brad Lidge just jumped up. So here comes Rich Doobie out to talk and stall.
Comcast Sportsnet is the only place for total Eagles-Falcons coverage. Sunday at 7, get reports direct from Atlanta on Eagles pregame live. Plus the expert analysis of our panel, including former Eagle Trey Thomas and Derek Gunn's exclusive one-on-one with Michael Vick. Total Eagles coverage Sunday night starting at 7 only on Comcast Sportsnet. Michael Vick said it was going to be exciting to head back to Atlanta, but he said, and this has been the norm for players over the last couple of years, that it's a business trip. And that's how he's looking at it. So Mike Stanton has been introduced as a pinch hitter for the Marlins with a runner at second, a 2-run lead for the Phillies, top of the 8th. He's been bothered by a sore right hamstring. And he takes a little high. It's 1-0.
Wind is really blowing in hard now from left field towards right. So if you hit one way up in the air, it's going to be tougher to hit it out to left and left center. But if anybody can do it, this guy can do it. Right field, it would fly.
Ground ball to third, foul ball, and it's 1-1.
They put Placido Polanco on the line now at third. You notice there on that foul ball how close he was to it. There he is, trying to prevent any kind of extra base hit to go down the line. Now the tying run in scoring position.
Up and in, 3 balls, 1 strike.
That was your pitch, Mike.
He's still mechanically not where he wants to be as Gabby Sanchez is on deck. This is the meat of the Marlins order.
Well, they can also give him the hook for Gabby Sanchez if he loses Stanton here, because Lidge will be ready by now.
Well, we'll find out. There's ball 4. So the tying runs aboard with 1 out here in the 8th. Charlie Manuel's headed toward the stairs, and here he comes. So he'll make a pitching change here. It's the second visit to the mound in the inning. With 1 out here in the top of the 8th, it's a 3-1 Phillies lead. And there's the call of the pen to get Brad Lidge and bring him in. So it'll be Lidge now. Casey right now, 2 runners on with 1 out. And of course, this is the final homestand of the 2011 regular season. The Phillies are looking for their 50th win again here at Citizens Bank Park. A day-night doubleheader today and tonight against the Marlins. And then tomorrow begins a 4-game series against the St. Louis Cardinals. And then next Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, 4 games against the Nationals, including a day-night doubleheader on Tuesday. And then the Phillies hit the road for their final road trip of the regular season to New York and Atlanta. So Brad Lidge is being brought into the ballgame with 2 on and 1 out here at Citizens Bank Park. And the conditions have changed as the day has moved on. The wind is blowing straight in from center field. Lidge, 18th ball game, 1.35 earned run average.
Yeah, and they have moved him to a much more important role out of the bullpen now in the 8th inning. And, you know, they didn't want him to use him in this inning. They wanted Bastardo to pitch a clean inning, and it didn't happen. So now they're going to try Lidge here on a potential power hitter in Sanchez.
Gabby Sanchez 0 for 2. Walked his last time up.
You still have to get through Morrison, too, if you get him out. And Morrison's a tough left-handed hitter. He's on deck.
Phillies are set up to try to turn 2 to get out of this inning.
That would be fine. And you have to deal with Morrison.
On the outside corner with a slider, Sanchez thought that was wide.
Whoa. That got the corner, he said? Okay.
Out in front of a slider, that one a little softer. And it's 0-2 to Sanchez.
He doesn't throw many ground balls, double plays, because Lidge with that slider and the fastball he has, either fly ball, strikeout, pitcher. But you never know. He threw a big one a few years ago to Ryan Zimmerman to start a party here.
That was back in 2008. And Phillies clinched the National League East title. The 0-2. Check swing. Just got a piece of it. That's right where Lidge's fastball velocity's been this year. He's hit 91 a couple different times, but mostly it's around 89. Two and 2 the count.
That was lucky that one hit the tarp.
Sure was.
But that one didn't go in the stands. It's a high slider, and Sanchez out front a little bit, and he nailed that thing. There's a tarp right there in front of those guys, and it hit right off the tarp, went right straight up in the air. Watch. Right on the corner of the tarp. Well, that guy was going to try and catch it.
Yeah, that would have hurt. That would have hurt.
Man, that was hit hard.
2-2 pitch. Another foul ball. This one back toward the sweet level. getting one slider after another, and he's spoiling them. This will be the 9th pitch of the at-bat. 4 straight foul balls. Hit toward the hole, a base hit to left field. Around third, heading for home is Infante. The throw to the plate by Ibanez is in time! Man, it seemed like Infante just slowed to a dead stop as he was coming to the plate, and Ibanez picks up his 5th outfield assist of the season.
I think he took a wide turn.
He sure did.
And that's what cost him as much as anything. Raul made a nice throw. Brian Schneider stuck the foot out. But looks like he comes around third pretty wide. There's a base hit, and they gamble here with Morrison coming up next. And no left-hander. Here's the throw. It's one hop, but look how wide he's coming in there at the end. And see if you can see if he takes a wide turn right here. Yeah, look how deep he's coming. And now he has to come back to the plate. And by coming back to the plate, they get him. You know, I'm not saying it's easy to cut your lane short when it's as wet as it is out there, but that wide turn seemed to cost him.
So 2 outs here in the top of the 8th. Logan Morrison's the batter. And he takes a slider outside. 1 ball, no strikes. Boy, that was an accurate, smooth throw by Ibanez.
Yeah, and that was a point I'm trying to make, too, about Logan Morrison coming up here. You have the bases loaded, 1 out, a left-handed hitter with no left-handed pitcher in the bullpen. They gambled and lost. And that was a really good throw. He charged that ball great. They may have thought, too, you know, let's gamble on a guy throwing a wet baseball.
Now Brad has fallen behind 2-0, so he has to be careful.
This is, you know, where they're going to have to use these guys down the stretch now and get them going, because this is troublesome right now. That Bastardo struggle, Lidge struggles, and these are the guys they're going to need at the end of the game.
John Buck on deck. Ball 4, and the bases are loaded. And right at it, John Buck will come up. So 2 walks in the inning, 1 by Bastardo, another one here by Lidge. Buck is 1 for 2.
He did have a base to play with there because of the play at the plate, and you know, he was really careful with Morrison, and Morrison did not swing at the slider. And now no wiggle room, so he has to get Buck.
Throws him a slider for a strike. It's 0-1. Lidge has never faced John Buck before. Buck being in the American League up until this season. Swing and bunt up the third base line, a foul ball, and it's 0-2. So the runners will go back. To the count. Lidge is ready. Swing and a miss. He got him with a slider. He gets
hits the right-hander with the bases loaded, and the side is retired. Brad Lidge came up with the right pitch at the right time in the strike zone with perfect movement, and he takes us to the bottom of the 8th. The Phillies sold out of season tickets this year. Did you miss your opportunity? With the deposit, fans can now be placed on the priority wait list for 2012 season ticket plans. Deposits do not guarantee a plan, but do hold a place on the priority wait list. See the ticket section at Phillies.com for more details. 3-1, Phillies on top. Boy, they worked themselves out of a tough spot at the top of the 8th. Emilio Bonifacio moves from right field over to third base. Mike Stanton, who pinch hit for Greg Dobbs, stays in the ballgame to play right. Mike Dunn is the new pitcher. 70th ball game for Dunn. And he'll come on to face Ryan Howard, Raul Ibanez, and I guess Jimmy Rollins. I didn't see where they put Rollins in the order. That should be Rollins, correct?
Yeah, I have Rollins down 6.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Howard's 0 for 3. 0 for his last 14. He had a home run against Mike Dunn the last time the Marlins were here before those 2 rainouts. One ball, 1 strike to count. Ryan Matson is up and throwing in the pen for the Phillies to pitch the 9th. There's Mad Dog. Phillies trying to whittle their magic number down to 3.
Swing now.
How about Brad Lidge in the top of the 8th inning through 16 pitches, 14 sliders.
Yeah, well, that's his game.
But more so this year. I mean, the slider's always been his pitch. But since his fastball has been, 89, 90 against right-handers, if he can throw that slider for strikes, it is a very tough pitch to handle.
Well, the thing that really helped him with Bucktown was he threw the first one for a called strike. He got ahead, and then he got him chasing after that.
Here's the 2-2 coming to Ryan Howard. And he got him looking on the inside corner.
lefty and Raul Ibanez duo. 10 strikeouts for Marlins pitching today.
Some throw Raul Ibanez just made from left field that kind of will have a big part if the Phillies win this game. It's in saving it, because that game's down to a run and all kinds of more stuff set up with just one out.
Let's face it, today the defense, which we talked about in the Astros series, how the defense had struggled in the first 2 games. The defense today has risen to the occasion.
Well, pitching and defense, that's this team. They're not a real potent offensive team overall. They win with this pitching they have and the tremendous defense.
Pete Orr made 3 outstanding plays at second base. Placido Polanco made a very good play, really 2 over at third. And that play by Ibanez.
Yep.
1-2 the count to Ibanez.
Jimmy, pretend the ball's Jose Reyes.
To the right side. Ooh, that ate up Gabby Sanchez. Infante picks it up. It was a good try on their part, but Ibanez was moving up the line.
That'd be a tough error. That ball was hit hard and it jumped, but we'll see how they scored. That thing was smoked too. Here it is. Look how hard it's hit, and it changed direction. You watch the replay on that. That's definitely a hit. Wonder what happened with the way that it takes a look. It totally changed direction right there. It's a base hit.
Well, they scored it an error. They may change it after looking at the replay.
That's not an error.
And Rollins will bat for the first time. They just switched it to a hit. Jay Dunn, the official scorer today.
Yeah, good job by Jay to see that replay and then change it.
So a 2-hit day for Ibanez. He's 2 for 4. Carlos Ruiz on deck. Ground ball toward the hole. A base hit for Rollins. He fired off, and now the Phillies have first and second. So Ruiz will pinch hit with 1 out here in the bottom of the 8th. This has happened often late in games when Ruiz doesn't start. He'll come in to just shore up the defense more for his throwing arm than anything else.
Yeah, and in this case, they're bringing him up there not only for that, as you say, Tommy does, but they're having him up there hoping he can do something offensively, because you don't have that left-left matchup you've had. Now Sada's up in the bullpen, the big right-hander, but it looks like they're going to stay with Dunn.
So Ruiz's numbers recently, he's been a hot hitter. 283, 6 home runs. And he asked for time. There's Sada.
Big's an understatement. Whoops.
Buck couldn't find it, and then his throw sailed.
And Raul slipped.
Yep.
There's all kinds of stuff going on there.
I think if Raul continued on the third, he had a chance to get there.
He did. He read it just as you said, that Buck can't find. Oh, it hit the umpire. That's what really brought it. But I think where Raul saw that get by the catcher, and he said, oh, that's going a long way. And oh, no, it isn't. When it hit the umpire, Hoy came right back.
Again in the dirt. 2-0 the count. Over towards short, threw into left field, a base hit. Ibanez stops at third, and the bases are loaded.
And Morrison was on that ball quickly, and Juan Samuel wasn't going to have happen to him what just happened to the Florida Marlins. It's another jammer. He fights that one off and gets it through just past Murphy. Here comes Morrison on it quickly, and Juan Samuel had stopped him for him to go into the bag like that, because he had already put on the brakes. So he must have done something. I didn't see it, but he had to do something there to stop it. And he had his arms up and stopped him coming in.
Well, here comes Jack McKeon. He's going to go to the bullpen, and this could be to the Phillies' advantage to have Martinez bat left-handed instead of right-handed. He has swung the bat more often left-handed this year, and quite honestly, he's looked more comfortable left-handed compared to right-handed. So a pitching change here at Citizens Bank Park. Bottom of the 8th inning. It's 3-1 Phillies. We'll be back with the bases loaded. With one out in the bottom of the 8th, Jose Seda is the new pitcher for the Marlins. Michael Martinez is due up. They'll move Martinez around to the left side of the plate to face Seda. Phillies are trying to add to their 2-run lead. It's 3-1. Ryan Matson had been up in the bullpen for the Phillies. Now it's David Herndon who's throwing. Now that may be just in case it falls out of being a save situation. And we'll wait and see if Michael Martinez can take care of that. See, Matson had the jacket on. Now he takes it off, so he may start the throw again in just a moment. Phillies scored a run in their half of the 7th, trying to add a run or two here in the 8th. Michael Martinez is 0 for 2. He's grounded out. He's also struck out. Won the count.
Yeah, that whole thing out there is all timing right now, as you pointed out, Tom. They don't know what's going to happen. If you get a bunch more runs, you take it out of a save, then they probably bring Herndon in. If you keep it at a save, they're going to bring Madsen in. So they both have to throw a little bit. Right now, Herndon's throwing a little bit more than Madsen because he started later. Madsen's ready if they need him.
A lot of times you'll see Madsen get up with 2 outs and start the throw again. Maybe because it's cooler. He's up on the mound. He'll throw every once in a while and then start to fire again when there are 2 outs.
It's a lot cooler.
Officially, it's 62 degrees. So the temperature's dropped to about 15 degrees since the game began.
About 40 since Houston.
It's cooler there today, too.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. In the dirt, 1 ball, 2 strikes. .94 today in Houston.
Did cool off nicely.
They had 45 consecutive days of 100 degrees or more. Fly ball shallow center. Peterson slipped but then recovered. 2 outs. Well, Martinez looked like he was fooled on a couple different pitches from Seda in that at bat.
Yeah, that was a check swing there.
So Ross Gload will pinch hit for the pitcher. Gload 18 pinch hits this year, 18 for 70. So who will it be, Matson or Herndon? A lot depends on this at bat. And the lead for the Phillies. Gload's 18 pinch hits this year, 4th most in Phillies history for a season. The leader all time is Greg Dobbs with 22.
See Mick Billmeyer out there. You know, we talk about Mick and what a fun guy he is, and he is. But he's serious in that bullpen at times, and he really helps those guys. Talked about, now look, you know, if it gets to this point, you're going in there, and this is who you're going to face. And that's one of the many good jobs that he does out there with those pitchers. He has a great rapport with them. Seda has a split. That may have been a split right there because that thing really went down in a hurry. Last time Ross Gload had an at-bat in this ballpark, set the Phillies off on a nice ride to Milwaukee. Right there under Freddie Freeman's glove, completing the sweep of the Atlanta Braves. And for all intents and purposes, that put the Phillies in pretty good shape against Atlanta to win the division. They haven't done it, but sweeping that series, well, it was a real positive.
A win today, the Phillies' magic number would be a 3. Ground ball knocked down by Sanchez. He's fortunate that it hit his leg and stayed in the same zip code. So Seda was over to cover. 3-1 on the putout. Phillies leave the bases loaded. It will indeed be Ryan Matson in a save situation when we come back for the 9th. This one out for his 31st save of the season. Also cut the Phillies' magic number to 3. And he's on to face the bottom of the Marlins order. It'll be Brian Peterson, Donnie Murphy. And then the pitcher spot, 4-2, 2.68 earned run average. That's in 30 saves and 32 opportunities. Carlos Ruiz, who pinch hit, he wore the wrong helmet out there. You know, it's alternate uniforms during day games. Carlos had the red helmet. Got a match. Peterson's 0 for 3. He's He's faced Matson 3 times before, and he's 0 for 3 against him.
Peter said you suck.
And up high with the first offering, it's 1-0. Big picture, the magic number is the key. But overall, this would be the 50th win for the Phillies here at Citizens Bank Park.
And the magic number for the division, we all talk about that, but the other thing they really want is to win overall, have the best record. And every time they can throw a win up on the board, they get closer and closer to closing out that number too.
Base hit to right field. So Peterson's aboard. They'll bring the tying run to the plate. Last couple innings have not been easy, so who would have thought this would be easy? Get all the highlights and a complete recap of this matchup immediately after the game. Stay tuned for the expert analysis of Ben Davis on Phillies Post Game Live, presented by Pure Auto Insurance. Again, it's right here after the ball game.
Well, they've had the leadoff batter 4 out of 5 innings. Last 4 out of 5.
John Baker, by the way, is in the on-deck circle just off the DL recently. And it looks like he'll pinch hit for the pitcher spot, which is due up next with Donnie Murphy at the plate, a runner at first. Polanco guarding the line at third.
Play as deep in the outfield because you think the wind's going to knock the ball down and it'd be harder to hit it over your head or even shoot it through the alleys. There you see the, not real deep in center and in right.
One and two the count to Murphy. First at bat for Murphy against Matson in his career. There's a happy guy. Back toward the middle, another base hit. So first and second for the Marlins with nobody out here in the top of the ninth. Let's see what they do. Are they going to call Baker back? Yeah, it looks like they did. They put somebody else up, and now they're going to put Baker back up.
Yeah, because they're not going to bunt for a tie on the road. You wouldn't think.
They had Rotino. It was Baker, then Rotino. Now it's Baker again. John Baker was on the disabled list because of Tommy John surgery. It's not often you see position players go through the surgery that's become so common for pitchers.
And this game should be a lot easier than it is. As you mentioned, Tom, the Phillies the last 2 innings have had a runner at third, less than 2 outs, have not scored. And they could have broken this game opener, certainly had at the point where you didn't have to go through this. But now Ryan Matson's in a mess.
All right, Joey Espada just talked to Baker. The Phillies infield came together and talked with Matson.
Well, you have to look for the bunt. You cannot just say it won't happen. But I was just thinking that I didn't think they would do it, but maybe they will.
Yeah, he's already squaring.
Yeah.
And he bunts it foul. It's 0-1.
The old thing is don't play for a tie on the road. But, Jack McKeon, you got to give him credit here. He's, for the people that are behind the Phillies trying to chase them, he's playing this game and doing everything he can to win because he knows that the Phillies have exhausted their back end of the bullpen now. You get into a tie game, he thinks he has the upper hand.
Baker looked like he pulled back late. Nope. He pulled back in time.
By tie game, you mean, of course, you go into extra innings.
One ball, one strike the count. And he bunts it toward third. Well, that'll get the runners up. The tying run is in scoring position. So second and third with one out here in the ninth. And the sacrifice goes 1-4. And here comes Bonifacio. So you're going to have to face Bonifacio and at least Infante in order to get out of this inning.
Obviously, you play the infield back here and let a run score, get the second out. They will play Ryan Howard, of course, on the line, though, to try and take away an extra base hit.
Bonifacio 0 for 5 against Matson. 3 strikeouts. Swing and a miss. 0-2. He's ahead now, and he can throw either fastball, changeup here. Got him. Threw him a changeup. Same spot, 2 outs.
And a very tough out coming up right now to end this game. Tom said the same pitch. It is just another changeup. The way he swung at the changeup before that, they just said, let's go back with another one, because he just is not picking it up and he's chasing it. So he did.
Infante's 1 for 6 against Matson in his career. The Phillies lead it 3-1, trying to cut their magic number down to 3 to clinch the National League East. Runners on second and third with 2 outs here in the ninth. Changeup popped up. This should do it. Here comes Howard. Out goes Ruiz. Ruiz squeezes it, and the Phillies' magic number is down to 3 to clinch the National League East as they hang on and win it by a final score of 3-1 in Game 1 of this day-night doubleheader. Well, it wasn't easy, and I guess nothing great is ever easy. These last 2 innings lasted a long time, and there were a lot of base runners on both sides. But Ryan Matson was able to convert his 31st save, and he made a winner out of Kyle Kendrick, who has won 8 games this year and has been a heck of a shot in the arm for the Phillies.
Look like a changeup. He got him way out in front as he tries to swing first ball fastball here. Popped it straight up in the air. And Carlos Ruiz took charge. Matson pointed. Carlos took charge. And Ryan Matson with a little enthusiasm right there, a little emotion. As Tom said, that is another big win for the club, because now you get that magic number down to 3.
50 wins at Citizens Bank Park this year. They've done it in back-to-back seasons. And with the victory, the Phillies 11.5 up over the Atlanta Braves. Their magic number again is 3 to clinch the East. And our Chevrolet players of the game, well, it's been the defense all year in a lot of ways, and it certainly was today.
Yeah, great play by Pete Orr early in the game. Pete had a couple really good defensive plays. This guy all year at third base is amazing. Placido Polanco fires the first base. Ryan Howard digs it out. And then how about another one right here by Raul Ibanez? This would have made it a 1-run game. Nice throw to the plate. Brian Schneider sticks that foot out there, does not allow Infante to get to the plate. Good defense by the Phillies in the first game of this split doubleheader, and those are our Chevrolet players of the game, and the plays of the game, all good defensive plays.
So Kyle Kendrick wins his 8th. Ryan Matson saves his 31st, and he's down on the field with Sarge. Sarge, take it away.
Hey, guys, thanks a lot. 31 saves right there. It's not how hard you throw, but results.
Yeah, you know, some days you don't have it all, and today is one of those days, but, you know, the hitters don't know that, and I was just trying to keep on it, keep focused, and made some good pitches there at the end to get out of it.
How about Kyle Kendrick? Doesn't get a chance to spot start. What a great job today here.
Oh, man, he had good stuff. He was pounding the zone, you know, attacking the left-handed hitters, and when he does that, he has good results, and he's really stepped it up this year, and it's fun to watch him.
Defense has just been phenomenal. You guys really count on that, don't you?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's no surprise. You know, we're spoiled as pitchers playing for this team. You know, with the plays they make, and even the guys that are filling in are making plays, and that's the team we got.
3 games now, and you'll be the division champ. You're thinking about it, and again, quite an accomplishment. Let's face it.
Yeah, we're thinking about it. It's our motivation right now, and with all this weather and stuff, and all the games. But our eyes on the prize still.
Okay, second game to go there. Continued success.
All right, thank you.
All right, Tom Wills.
All right, Sarge, thank you very much. Ryan Matson earned his 31st save today. The Phillies, their 50th win here at home, 96 overall. We'll be back to talk a little bit more about it right after this.